Wesley,
Uh-huh.
you want to talk about Dredd?
Oh, okay.
Now we're... On my side, we're going to talk about the movies.
In your side, you're going to talk about the movies, but my side, yeah.
You know the comics more than me.
Yeah.
So, this is just going to be a video of us just talk about Dredd. Let's just start
fucking
with it.
around like we normally do.
Let's just go. Let's just do it. I think we could all agree that the first time we saw Dredd was definitely not a great start, because it was definitely
not the best.
The Stallone version.
I will admit, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I will admit.
When did that come out? Let me look it up. You continue.
People watching this video are gonna fucking crucify me, but I will admit, the ABC Warrior, the robot.
Oh, the rusty robot.
The ABC Warrior and the judge uniforms.
Yeah, that
look cool.
That was the only good. That was the good thing.
Those were the two only good things. The rest of the movie, it was basically just.
It was basically like the Halo TV show before the Halo TV show.
It was basically the equivalent of Sylvester Stallone saying, "Can I make can I make a movie?" And it's just like, "Hey, can I borrow the script? The script for Demolition Man. Hey, can I borrow your homework? Sure, but just change it so it doesn't look obvious." It's the exact same fucking
Well, they both
movie.
have Rob Schneider,
They both have Rob Schneider.
and they're both based on the future.
They're both futuristic, I guess, post-apocalyptic.
Except there's a difference. One's got Taco Bell as a restaurant, and the other one has got...
One's got armored hot dogs. The other has got...
That movie came out in 1995.
Fucking hell.
And I have to admit, I do agree with you. The helmet was pretty cool.
Yes. The costumes
My favorite
were cool.
scene is when this buildings get attacked by random criminals shooting these two judges. And
random perps.
And then the Judge Dredd comes in, played by Stallone, comes in, gets out of the bike, and you just see this cock piece in it.
Cod piece.
And it's like, I am blah.
And he gets shot and he doesn't fucking move, he just stands there.
And then the guy is like, "Oh my god, it's Judge Dredd." Is like, "Hey, wanna be afraid of someone? Be afraid of me!" And he's like, "Ah!"
Yeah. What the fuck was that? Yeah.
That's what it sounded like in the movie. It has been a while, because I did saw the movie one time on TV, and then I saw like the Nostalgia Critics review of it.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny. Like, 20 years.
20 years. 20 years.
The gun is just like...
The lawgiver,
It could do anything. It was like double whammy.
Double whammy, rapid fire grenades.
Yeah, it's got everything. And I love it in the Nostalgia Critics review. He's like, back massage. He just has it in his back.
Relaxing music.
I think there's more options in the 2012 version.
I think, yeah.
Because I think one of them was called Hot Shot, and like we'll get to the 2012 one later. But I'm trying to remember what actually happened. Like I think he gets framed. He gets framed, and then he's sent to somewhere with like Rob Schneider and.
It's an ISO cube. That's their word for a prison.
I remember like there's a bit when the villain says, "You want the beginning? I am the beginning." And
Rico Dredd, yeah. You want the beginning? I am the beginning.
And he's like,
"Well, don't look at me. I was made to sound stupid."
He's just the over the top villain. Like he's the one. Yeah.
That bit where he goes into like a junkyard and he like goes and finds this guy and he's just like, "What's this?" "No, don't touch that. That's a law. Don't you know what that is? It's a lawgiver. If you pick it up, it'll blow your arm off. Is that right?" And then he picks it up and points it at the guy. And
yeah,
because I must be a judge.
Because it
only recognizes the ID of a judge. I don't know if it's the specific judge or just judges in general. But yeah, if it doesn't recognize your ID, it blows your arm off.
Well, probably identifies your DNA as a criminal.
Probably, yeah.
Well, look, Master Chief and Judge Dredd are kind of similar.
Yeah.
They're both badasses that are not supposed to show their faces. Like that's
ironically both wear green because Dredd wears green like gloves and green boots and a green belt, and Master Chief wears green.
Oh,
so
well,
that's
over, yeah.
very ironic.
But the thing is, both the Halo TV show and Judge Dredd with Stallone is they show the face too much, which kind of like
both have similar problems. Like some bits do look cool, but at the end of the day, it's not the best adaptation of the world, and both characters remove their fucking helmet, even though they never did.
It's like making a Doom movie, and Doom guy has no helmet, so you just have this.
Either that, or he has dialogue. I'm pretty sure like Doom guy / Doomslayer are like completely silent for the
He
games.
probably says grunts like what Rorschach does in Watchmen.
Subtitle grunt. No, it's like Link. It's like Link. He doesn't speak. He's just like
but there's a difference.
Guttural noises.
There's a difference between Doom guy and Link. Link just sounds like he's constipated. Doom guy just pissed off.
Only the Twilight Princess version. Skyward Sword. I think it's Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess, I think. Where he sounds constipated. Yeah. And 2000...
I'm just trying to remember more about the 1995 version. Because I remember the 2012 movie more. Because, one, we just saw it recently, the show and our friend.
Yeah.
But another thing, I remember that there's a lot of great scenes that screams, this is cinema.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen.
But the good news and bad news about the 2012 version, the good news is everyone thought it was the perfect interpretation of Dredd. The bad news is because they wanted the movie to be in 3D and people weren't fans of that, it bombed in the box office. So
I think they promoted that big.
Incredibly sad to hear.
Because it's a really good movie.
It's a fucking amazing movie.
It's got a lot of scenes. Like
a lot of action.
The first minute is Judge Dredd chasing these 3 random criminals taking the drug that slows down time.
Yeah.
And then the truck flips over, killing the 2 criminals, but one enters like a mall. And...
What? Did you hear me? I'll blow her fucking head off! Yeah, I heard you, hotshot. What? I said hotshot, and he melts his face.
Yeah.
That was fucking Dredd. That was Judge Dredd right there.
I forgot what the guy's name, but he played Butcher.
He did, yeah. He played Butcher. And he was
a character in Star Trek.
I think he played one of the men of Rohan. From
He
walks here and there, they say.
Carl Urban? I'm probably butchering that name.
You're butchering Butcher's name? Fucking kill me.
Judgment is death.
The crime is life and the sentence is death.
But no, like, I want him to play Batman because he's got, like, when you see him as Judge Dredd, he kind of is a bit like Batman.
Yeah,
like ruthless.
There is a picture. I was scrolling through the internet and I found like a picture where it was basically like, I think it was talking about a comic or comparing because there is a comic where Batman meets with Dredd, but it's just like talking about the pair of them.
I mean, when Judge Death looks like the Batman who laughs, there's a comparison.
The thumbnail literally looked like the world's biggest chin measuring contest.
More than Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. My chin's bigger than yours. No, my chin's bigger than yours.
Oh, yeah, like, he did a great job playing Dredd. Like,
even behind the scenes, I heard he never took his helmet off and he never smiled.
Yeah, he never smiles once I think that's the character done right. That's because in movies and shows, like, when you see superheroes, like, when you see Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man, you don't see an actor playing Iron Man, you see the character come to life. So him playing Dredd, I think that was the character come to life.
I mean, that's the thing, when a character does... When an actor plays a character so well, it's gone up to the point where you can only see them play that character.
Yeah. And, like, there's so many moments of him, like, the bit where him and Anderson, like
Judge Anderson, yeah,
like the mutant.
Yeah, Judge
sidekick.
Anderson, yeah.
They break into this random room and it's in slow motion, but it's only slow motion to the people that took the drug.
Yeah.
So when it cuts to them, it's sped up.
Yeah.
Like it's normal speed, but
and even that scene where he blows up the door and
someone's stomach,
and
like
you see like the ripples and the vibrations
yeah.
of his stomach. Yeah.
And then there's a bit where he shoots the guy, and like this was
definitely it goes through his cheek, and you see his gums and his teeth just rip out.
Now
the
it makes
side.
sense why they're shown in 3D, and that that was just a great scene.
Yeah.
And there's another great scene when he encounters three corrupt judges.
Yes.
Because he does kill one early on.
He basically punches his throat and he just chokes in his own blood.
But when he gets his armor shot by one of them and he's like, wait, and he's like, really?
Wait, I expected more from you. Okay, wait for what? Wait for some 5 more seconds of life because you're so goddamn weak you can't see it end? No. Wait for her to shoot you. And I'm like, yeah, even though he is a very non-smiling, very, like, brutish character, the fucking sense of humor that universe has is fucking amazing.
By the way,
just that bit where it's just like, you're ready? Yes, sir. Kind of wondering why you left your helmet back there. A helmet can interfere with my powers, sir. I think a bullet might interfere with them too, and I'm like, I fucking love these two.
It's the line delivery.
Fucking line
it's
delivery.
Just the line delivery. There's this other scene where, the corrupt female cop, she was wasted because she only gets like what?
Don't worry, I'm one of you, and she scans him and just shoots her.
Just a minute screen time for her.
Yeah.
There's another scene where Judge confronts Mama.
Who I just don't be like, really, you just discovered that? I'm a slow learner.
We've just
recently seen Game of Thrones, and I just connected the dots that Mama is Cersei.
Yeah, the same actress.
Same actress.
She's great as Cersei.
She's very calm as Mama.
She's very bitchy in Cersei in Game of Thrones, but she's very calm.
She is very
I don't think she has a temper tantrum in the movie. I don't think, even when nothing goes her own way. The scene when she's on a machine gun and she's just shooting this entire neighborhood,
this entire blocking, just ripping through the walls.
That was awesome. Like that's where you could tell a villain is doing stuff when she's like, let me just get the gun and just shoot it.
No, let me do it my fucking self. And she just rips into it,
She puts like a device around her arm that stops her heart, like if her
heart goes off, it would like release a signal that will detonate like the first couple of floors.
Yeah.
And then Judge
just like gives her the drug and is like,
How do you plead? Noted. Kicks her off.
Yeah, and it's just like a slow motion.
What's the range on that thing? Let's find out. And then she just collapsed. Imagine taking that drug and like everything is so slow. Imagine what pain would experience at that point. The second Mama like hits the ground. Imagine every single detail of pain just
slowly.
Yeah.
There's a pro and a con to drugs.
What's the fucking pro? What the fuck are you talking about?
There's a pro and a con to what people experience with the drug. Let me rephrase that, okay?
Remember, winners don't do drugs unless the person tells you they'll give you superpowers. In that case, take it.
Unless it's compound V.
Compound V. Snort it, boy.
Anyway, let me finish. Anyway, there's this. Okay, so.
There's a pro and con to taking the slow-mo drug.
Yeah, because when you take it, it must feel like relaxation. Because Mama takes it in a bath, and then there's guys that take it in like their own rooms. So when they take it, it just feels like time is slowing down and just relax. But you don't notice that there might be a guy in front of you with a gun in your face and you get shot. So that's the con of the drug.
Yo, Mark, there's a...
Remember that scene? Remember that scene from Transformers Prime when Starscream takes the fast energy on and he steals the keys from the base. And he comes back and Optimus Prime's like, and then Starscream's like, "I'm sorry, what was that?" just an impression. It was an impression of that. That's what I feel like if someone was if the judge was talking to someone with a drug, he's like. Actually, could you imagine if they put Stallone in the 2012 movie? You'll still not understand what he's saying.
What did he say? I said Robocop. It's like that joke from Madagascar 3. What? How do we go in there? What? There's a bit behind the building. What? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, for a building secured with bad guys and random citizens, they have the worst spots for skateboards.
Yeah, it was like, what was that image I found? It was just like, it was, like the 1940s, black and white. There's literally an image of like a baby in a cage in the side of a building.
Oh God.
Don't worry, it won't affect them. The smoke won't affect them. Just put the baby in the fucking baby cage outside. Wait, what?
There's actually a funny scene surrounding Anderson where they are taking this guy for interrogation, but Mama finds out, and that's why the entire building's locked down. And there's a bit where she reads what he's thinking, and it's like torture.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bit where he goes inside. No, she goes inside his hands, and he thinks he's got the upper hand by making her obey him.
Yeah.
But when she's like, "Oh, got ya," and it's like Mama
ripping his dick off.
Yeah.
Mama fucking Lorena bobbited him.
And then Mama does what the Mountain did to someone, and she actually literally took someone's eyes out to replace it with robot eyes. There's like a computer geek in the building, just like that. His eyes freaked me out.
Yeah,
because it's just like it looks like there's no white around it, and it just looks so...
But when you have, like, a close-up, it's like the aperture of a camera, it just, like, zooms in and zooms out again. Yeah.
He was forced, because there was that bit where he's got a knife in his belly button.
Against his... Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just contacting someone.
My boss is... Fuck, she's right there. Breathing down my fucking neck. Give me some space, sir. Thank you so much, your lightsaber. Mama, the building's about to blow up. Good.
I'm just...
Kill all the fucking judges.
I'm just so annoyed that this movie was so good, and there's no continuation.
There's no sequel.
There was a TV show that was gonna... there was a TV show that never happened, and the movie was a bomb in the box office, and I'm like... I wish...
Unfortunate, yeah.
The movie was so good, and the thing is, there has been good movies that have been box office fails, like the Cornetto trilogy. Apparently, their box office fails.
Wait,
what? Hot Fuzz and
Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, they're cult classics, and they're...
What the fuck? They bombed in the... Okay. Wow.
I think I might understand why it didn't go so well, because, like you said, with 3D, but I think it's because we've already had a Dredd movie.
And people weren't impressed by that.
I feel like that didn't give people much hope for it. And especially that's a remake, and remakes don't have like a good track record because people say remakes are not as good as the original. This is the few times where a remake is actually better than the original. A remake is
better than the original.
Because this came out the same. Because this was 2012, the same year where there was a remake for Total Recall.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think that did good because it totally reminded me of the 2014 RoboCop, which that also didn't do good. But no, like Judge Dredd, like I hope to God we get a game of Judge Dredd. How cool would they be? There's a RoboCop game. How cool would it be if there was a Dredd?
There is an old game like Dredd versus Death where you the first couple of chapters you're arresting scummy little perps, and then like in the middle and near the end, you fight the Dark Judges.
And I have seen some comic, like I have seen some.
Speaking of comics,
I have seen like the covers of the comics.
Yes.
Our dad's got two models, like Judge Dredd and
Judge Dredd and Judge Death.
Dredd and Judge Death. And every time I see Death, I'm just thinking of the Batman,
the Batman who laughs.
Because it's just the same face.
The Bruce man that giggles.
Yeah.
As Isaiah calls him.
I think you had what was the black and white figure that you got?
Oh,
from Ben Planet.
Yeah, that's Judge Mortis.
Judge Mortis.
The one with he's got like a horse skull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was there one in color, or was it just a black and white one?
I think
it was just black and white.
Yeah, I think it was just black and white. I know that there were judges, and I think Judge Fear was colored, but no, the ones that I saw in Forbidden Planet, most of Mortis was black and white. But yeah, the Dark Judges, you get Judge Fire, which, can you guess what his whole thing is?
Water.
Yeah. Judge Fire, Judge Fear, Judge Mortis, and Judge Death.
Okay.
And they were like, basically, most of the villains that Judge Dredd, up until that point, most of the villains that Judge Dredd faced either died or were thrown in prison, and there wasn't really that was basically that. So when they were up until the Judge Death or the Dark Judge storyline, they needed a villain that if you killed them, they won't stop coming back. And that's where Judge Death was created. And he was such an iconic character that they made another version of him in the second book that he's in. That's when the Dark Judges come in. Like, even I know he's designed based off of a Judge uniform, but I would argue that Judge Death is more of an Anderson villain. Because him and Anderson
is in the comics.
Yes, him and Anderson do have a bit of a thing, because, you know...
Oh, love triangle.
No, not a love triangle.
Oh.
It's more of a case of he loves tormenting her. Speaking of police.
I think that may be the judges.
But he loves tormenting her because he can enter people's minds, and she's a psychic. And even in the comic where she goes into the dead world, which is the world where the Dark Judges come in, the literal second Anderson steps foot into that world, she is overflown with screams and her mind is filled with like screams and cries of thousands of dead people.
So it's kind of like Xavier with Cerebro, like
yeah.
If that becomes damaged, you'll hear the screams of every human mutant. Speaking of mutants, does in the comics does Judge Dredd have a issue of mutants? Because he kind of had a thing with her being a psychic. Like the
mutants are not favored in Mega City, or at least Mega City 1.
Are they all psychics, or do they have like different abilities?
Some of them have psychics, some of them have mutations like a third arm or shit like that, but they're disliked mostly.
It's kind of like Mad Max and or like any other futuristic apocalyptic world.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you get any children wearing wolf clothes and metal boomerangs in Mega City.
Cool. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, if you get guns that have different options, you might as well get a boomerang that probably like cuts people's necks off.
So yeah, also in Mega Cities, or at least 2000 AD, sugar and coffee are deemed a stimulant, therefore illegal.
God,
Imagine a world where coffee is fucking illegal.
Good thing I like lattes.
Yeah, I like that. There's specific areas dedicated of you going in, beat some robots up, and then leave. There are specific areas that you can just go in, smoke, and that's it. There's specific locations that you can basically eat as much food as you want, but coffee is fucking illegal.
It's kind of like Demolition Man. The only restaurant we have is
Taco Bell,
and I'm like, bullshit.
Fucking Chili's are illegal.
You're telling me that in the restaurant wars, McDonald's fucking lost to Taco Bell? Bullshit.
So I would. The funniest thing about that is I would love to imagine Taco Bell won because it was a neutral fucking restaurant. It kept out the war and all the restaurants died, and when the smoke cleared, he was the only one left. So they were like, okay, then Taco Bell won.
You can actually play as Judge Dredd in one of the Call of Duty games.
Yeah, I think there's two skins. There's like a colored one and a black and white one, yeah.
See me going around the map. This was in Call of Duty Cold War, and I think they had an 80s month.
Yeah.
DLC, so it was like playing like 80s characters. Like you could play as Bruce Willis's character from Die Hard. You could play as Dredd and Terminator and all that stuff. They had an 80s month.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. So playing as like Dredd, like with the gun and stuff. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the option on like in the movie or the comics, but it is pretty cool to like it's pretty cool to shoot zombies and you're playing as like Dredd shooting zombies.
Why does that remind me of those fucking Left 4 Dead mobs? Like you're just shooting a bunch of fucking Elmos, and you look to your right, and there's a fucking Nicolas Cage pickle staring back at you.
Oh god. Or like that Vanos video where it's like instead of zombies, it's just Zoidbergs.
Zoidbergs, yeah.
But no, like I remember playing as Dredd, and I remember like saying because that Dredd was the comic. It wasn't like the movie version; it was just the comic version. And I remember showing you to, and you were like, you thought it was awesome, and I'm like, yeah, it is pretty awesome.
I am the law.
They need to make because Dredd and even Hellboy don't get a lot of film adaptations. Like Hellboy, like Kick-Ass, and Dredd, like these are superhero movies that are not owned by Marvel, DC, and they don't get a lot of love. And there's a lot of comics of Dredd, like what was it, the 3000 AD or
2000 AD, and there's a side one called ABC Warriors, or
even Spawn. Spawn only had one movie, and that's based on a really long comic series. So I just hope in the future we do get a Dredd continuation of the 2012 movie, or even give us a new Dredd movie that has like Judge Death. Yeah. Like, as long as you don't cast Jared Leto to play Judge Death, because they already ruined Joker. I don't want them to ruin Judge Death.
That's the last thing you hear before your soul is fucking devoured.
And Judge Dredd is played by Ben Affleck. Actually, I wouldn't mind that, actually, to be honest.
Anderson! Why do you say that name? Anderson! Why do you say that name?
I love it how in the futuristic dystopia they still have like you have like the Dredds that have got like the futuristic kind of weapons, but then criminals just have normal weapons that's still been in since like the 60s or something.
You get a judge has like a lawgiver, which is a gun that can like switch through. It's different types of bullets depending on which round you want.
Well, that's cool.
And then they're fighting criminals that are still using like fucking AKs or some shit.
You would have thought that they would have their
flying cars, and we're still using fucking Uzis to kill people.
They've got like bikes that shoot. They've got like helicopters and drones. We're still using minis as our travel. We're using a transit van.
We got a fucking transit bus.
We're using the stuff that was made when the freaking 60s, but they're using stuff that was made by Tron. Because when we saw the 2012 movie, I wish I saw it in cinemas. Yeah. But I bet it must have been a fever dream just watching the drugs. Like, I bet there was a lot of people that were blinded with the amount of brightness that movie had.
What the fuck is going on? Like at those drug scenes coming, it's just like, It's like I made a joke to one of my friends, basically saying, if you saw Doctor Strange while you were high, it would probably be the most boring fucking movie in the world. So, like, imagine watching those scenes of slow-mo while you're taking drugs, and it's just like, nothing's fucking happening. And then it cuts to normal, it's like, what the fuck?
There is a scene involving a telephone box where he's surrounded. You think it's Judge Dredd surrounded by criminals, but then it's just one of their own in a police box.
And across the block, he's like incendiary, and he throws an incendiary. It
reminded me of that was cool. He shoots a flare and it just burns,
and you just see a reflection of his helmet. It's just fire.
That was awesome.
But
it kind of reminded me of like during the war when it was like there was snipers that shoot like the enemy soldiers shooting like in the war when someone shot a person. Sometimes one side would use like fake heads. Like they put sunglasses, they put cigarettes, and they would put their heads.
I think they have done that. Like they would put they would have like a rifle and put their helmet on top of it, and they would
just to pinpoint the location of the sniper.
Yeah, just to see who it is.
Yeah, because I think they did it with fake heads to put up.
Or like they would have their helmet. Yeah.
Yeah. Because so it's kind of similar to what he did except it was just a real corpse and not a fake head.
Jonathan, what has he done to you? I honestly thought you were going to compare it to something from John Wick or something. Does that scene where they like shoot the phone box and they look in and it's Weatherman, does that look like something that would happen in...
Yeah, kind of would based on this made by John Wick.
John Wick, yeah. But yeah, if I were to sit here and tell you everything about the comics, we'd be here for fucking years, because it's a really, really big comic series.
Yeah.
And like half of them don't even rely on like Judge Dredd. Some of them are like their own stories, like
the Rusty, sorry to interrupt, but the Rusty robot from the Stallone movie, does he have a bigger part in the comics?
Yeah, he is in the comics. Like I said, he's a part of the ABC Warriors story, and I kind of forgot what his role was, because I have, to be honest, I haven't read the ABC storyline. I really need to read that, but yeah.
What was the city called? Mega City.
Mega City 1, yeah.
Yeah, Mega City 1.
If people probably listen when I'm going to say something, and people are going to probably listen to this thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? But I remember my first Judge Dredd comic was, I was in Academy, and in the library there was there were like multiple comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of the first comics that I read from 2000 AD was a book called The Three Amigos, and it was Judge Dredd, Judge Death, and what was his name again? Hang on, let me look this up. I think his name was War Machine Angel or Death Machine Angel. Hang on a minute. Keep talking while I look this up.
I think it's like, what did they say? Like all the Earth's population have cowered into cities across the planet.
Yeah.
Now known as mega cities, and it was like the crimes in these mega cities became so violent and so powerful that they had to make a justice system, and that's where they make like the Dreads, because the crime was like just out of control, that they had to make these judges to. What was it? Police, jury, and executioner.
Judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah.
Here he is, Mean Machine Angel. Yeah. Part of the Angel gang family. Mean Machine, yeah, this guy.
Oh, they can't see it, but I can.
You can see it.
He kind of reminds me of Kano from Mortal Kombat.
He does look like Kano from Mortal Kombat. Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about.
They probably have to look it up too.
Probably look it up.
What's the name? Mean Machine?
Mean Machine.
Oh, that sounds like a Kano thing.
But yeah.
But no, like the first move, not the first movie, the 2012 movie is what the first one should have been.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think you told me, or maybe it was someone I heard, Stallone wanted to make an action comedy.
Yeah, he wanted
not
to,
something I would
wanted to. The script was dark as hell, so he's like, no, let's make it an action comedy, and it's just like, fucking hell, Stallone.
I think dark would have been the right tone for
fucking
Judge
piss! Stallone, what the fuck?
You could have just get George Miller, who made Furiosa and Mad Max, to direct.
That would be cool.
Judge Dredd.
Yeah, could you imagine that?
Yeah. If it was Michael Bay, it'll be explosions everywhere. If it was J.J. Abrams, it'll be lens flares everywhere to make you blind.
Yeah.
And if it was Spielberg... Actually, Spielberg? Nah, that's not his type of movie. George Lucas will make everything CGI.
I remember watching a video. If you look up Judge Death in the internet, you can find this video. It's an animated... I've only seen this episode, but apparently it's like an animated series.
Oh, okay.
So it like tells you all these different things about characters, but the one that I saw, it was basically Death's story. So he starts off as a judge. Yeah, apparently he was an actual judge. And there was a scene where he basically he finds a criminal doing something to another person.
Very detailed.
Yeah, and he basically says, death to control. I have found a criminal. Shall I lay the sentence? No, you already know this violation is like this sentence in an isocube.
Oh, did he saw like the false justice of...
No. Okay. He sees like and then he sees like the person who was being attacked, and he's like, they seem to be like young. We can add in another sentence if the person is like a minor or something. He shoots the girl. And then he says, oh, wait, control, she's dead. Then the sentence is death. Okay. And then he beats the guy to death with his own helmet.
Jesus Christ.
So he literally killed... Even in the comics, when he was a judge, he literally killed people because it's just like, oh, they wasted my time, or I didn't like the way they looked. He just killed anyone he felt like.
I thought it was becoming like a Stain scenario when he saw like the injustice of the judges.
He loved killing so much. There was even a thing where he was sent out to deal with the Angel Gang. He said, drug dealers... not interested, because he knew that drug dealers won't be that big of a sentence for death. So he was just like, if I'm not gonna kill them, what's the fucking point of doing it? But they say like this is their third warning if like the sentence is death. And then he goes in, he gets shot by his fucking, I don't even know what the fuck you call this, like fucking harpoon rocket launcher thingy. He gets killed. He gets resurrected by the by the Sisters of Death, which are actual characters in the comics, by the way. He becomes Judge Death, and like the Judge Death, and then massacres the entire stadium. Judge Dredd comes in and he looks at all these dead people, and then he Control like radio to him, and he's just like, oh, by the way, your brother Rico, he's in Mega City 1. So Dredd goes looking for him. Rico and Dredd stumble upon Death, and they basically fight. I don't think he even abducts her. It's more like he gains the trust of Dredd's niece, I think it would the best way to describe her as.
Yeah.
And they basically have a fight leading to Judge Death ripping out Dredd's heart. And then he's just like, wait, you can't die, but you're just a man. I am more than a man. I am Dredd. And he shoves a drug, which is Stookie, which is like a youth drug, into his head, like making him younger, basically removing the whole death thing and making him back to Judge Death, the person. And he's just like, I'm alive. Oh, hi, Judge Dredd. Nice to meet you. And he basically, Dredd punches him so hard he decapitates him.
Jesus Christ.
And, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, or if anyone has seen it, it really is... It has some weird sense of humor, but it really is a good video, and it really is... It really is Dredd. Like, 2000 AD. It's a great video to watch for all those that like 2000 AD. It really is a good, yeah.
There's a comic book shop in Aberdeen in Union Street that I go to.
Plan 9.
Plan 9.
Yeah,
I go there just to look over the comics and take photos for making videos. But they've got a lot of like Judge Dredd comics.
Yeah,
it's not just Marvel and DC, but they've got like Star Wars. They've got like Spawn. They've got like what was it? What was the one with that they had a TV show had Talking Crow? Sandman. Sandman. It's got comics of like.
I've seen 2 different types of comics from, well, technically 3. There's the ones that the spine is black, and it just tells you the name of the book. There's the other one, I think this is the most recent one, where it basically has the silhouette of the Judge helmet, and it's like in different colors.
Okay.
But there is another one, which, this is the one that I'm mostly used to. It's one of those books that if you like put it on your shelf, the spines create a picture, and basically what the picture is, it's basically a rogues gallery of all the 2000 AD villains and criminals.
Oh, that's awesome.
It really is pretty kick-ass, I'm not gonna lie.
So it's kind of similar to the Mario Game mangas, how they've got, each of them have a number.
Each of them have a number and the face of a character.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
And you said they've done crossovers with like
the only
Call of Duty, Batman.
The only two I know is like the Call of Duty crossover and the comic where he meets Batman, and that's the only crossover.
See, that's less random than the time when I saw a comic where you have Predator versus Spider-Man. Apparently, that is one of them.
Or that one time...
It should have been Predator versus Black Panther.
Or that one time Spawn made an appearance in an Invincible comic. Oh wait, that's canon! My mistake!
Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that's
it's
the
just
extent of our knowledge. Yeah.
Our knowledge, because we're not going to talk about everything we know. We just know what we know.
A bit, yeah.
We're not going to talk about the full history because we don't know the full history. We just know bits and pieces of our knowledge. So, that was just us talking about Dredd. Let us know which one of the movies you like better. Let us know if you read any of the Dredd comics and which one would you actually recommend us having a look. And with that being said,
I am the law.
I am the law.
Okay, never mind.